What's up, Scrappy peeps? It's Adele from Inkie Quill, and I'm here with a bit of a Christmas mini album for you today. Now, I'm using a mini album from DIY Shop, but you don't have to use these ideas for Christmas. You can use them for any mini album that you want to use. So, like I said, this is by American Crafts, DIY Shop, and it's available at Spotlight. And I'm also using some other goodies that Spotty sent me, including some things from their range by Francheville, including the ribbon, the stamps, and the twine, and also some goodies from DIY Shop like those pegs. So I had a really fun time just creating a random collection of memories. I love these tags. I may hoard those tags in the future. These are different. I've never seen them before. They're from a company called Ultimate Crafts, and they're like metallic flowers, daisies. There's poinsettias in the range as well, and they just gave a nice Christmas glitzy kind of vibe. You know me, those tiny word stickers are me all freaking over. So this paper pad, or paper set, I guess you could say, is a 6x6 paper pad from Ultimate Crafts as well, and it's called Season's Greetings. And then the last little bits and pieces I have some doilies and some treat bags from DIY Shop. And I also have this journaling cards pack from Francheville as well, which came with embellishments, which I thought was pretty cool that it came included. This is to die for. This is the Francheville Deluxe Craft Christmas. It's a bit of a tongue twister, and they're all foiled and they're just beautiful. So the first thing that I'm doing is I'm covering the front of my album. So to do that, I just put double-sided sticky tape freaking everywhere, and I'm just plopping on a piece of that gorgeous foil paper from the Craft Collections paper pad, and I do the same paper on the front and the back just to make it, you know, a little bit cohesive. So this album is roughly 6 by 6 inches, not including the tabby bit that sticks out. So all I did here was I grabbed one of those DIY Shop doilies and also matted my photo of Frizzy from the 12 Days of Christmas presents from last year on YouTube, and I'm just going to use my hot glue gun to stick down some of these embellishments. Now, I knew I wanted to use that poinsettia on the front cover because it is quite a chunky little bugger. So I added some twine here, and I did a really easy technique. It's just called the hot glue gun wrap and wish for the best. So I hot glue gunned it where I knew that flower would be covering it up. Burnt my finger a few times, but that's okay. It's still attached. And I'm layering it under that little bit of the fern just to give it a little bit of extra something. And I got hot glue strings all over my photo. Now, the great thing about this album is that you can do the pages one at a time and then wait until the end and combine them in the binder rings, which is super easy to do. Now, if I was to do this again, I would love to try and paint and add some colour to these cards. They're kind of, I think they're chipboard. I think it's like a matte chipboard. They're very thick and sturdy, like a board book, like a child would have a board book, picture book. They're very, very sturdy, so it'd be fun to experiment with a bit of mixed media on these as well. So what I've done is I've just printed off a whole different range of Christmas photos from the last few years. And I just want to write some Christmas memories, just some random little memories. Nothing too deep, nothing too serious, just a fun little Christmas book that I can put out on the coffee table at Christmas time, and if we have guests over, they can have a little flip through it. So I'm using some of the papers from the Ultimate Crafts to mat my photos. And then here come the tags. I don't know what it is about text print. I just really like a good text. And I'm very, Aaron will account for this, I am extremely fussy with my fonts. I have my font type, and it's like when you have a type in a partner. I have a type in a font, and typewriter or newsprint type is my cup of tea. I really do enjoy it. So I added some of the twine from that Francheville Christmas Basics collection that came with, I think it came with red, green, white and gold twine from memory. And I just can't leave a tag with an empty hole. I just can't do it. Now, I will admit I was hoarding some of this foil paper. because it was just, especially this swirly one, I just found it really just pretty, just honestly just very pretty. So I just added a little doily just to echo the doily that was on the front cover, and I'm adding one of these smaller poinsettias because they're not as chunky as the one that I did on the front cover, as well as some of the washi tape from the collection as well. Now all of these goodies that you're seeing are available at Spotlight. You can call in and see what they've got, and you can even just use this journal for any other time of year as well. I would love to do this kind of thing as like it'd be nice to do a birthday memory book, so to have different birthdays recorded from childhood. That'd be fun to do as well. Now you can see here I have a giant splodge of gold Hardy shine there, so I'm going to have to do something about that. I did do a lot of journaling in this album, and I'll do a full flip through at the end, so don't worry about trying to read it or trying to see what it is right now. You will be able to see it all at the end. I alternated between having white backgrounds just with journaling, and then some pages that I did the same technique that I did for the front cover and just popped down some double-sided tape, plonked a piece of that gorgeous foil paper on top, and then cut around the outside. Now, an easier way to do that would be to cut it on a self-healing cutting mat with like a X-Acto knife, like a craft knife, but alas, I did not have one readily available, but scissors did a close enough job. So I'm just tossing up here what to do, going through those embellishments that are included in the Francheville journaling card set. And I think that's a great move for companies to start to combine embellishments and paper, or embellishments and cards, because quite often when you like a collection, you buy one and you buy the other as well of the embellishments, like I often do. I wanted to have a bit of fun here and do some interactive elements, because I'm so used to doing things in page protectors where there's a bit of a barrier between the audience, I guess you could say. It's usually just Aaron or I, and the actual layout itself. So I decided to have fun with a few of these pockets, and it covered up that Heidi Shine splodge too. Dual purpose. So I grabbed the newspaper tag and I decided to add a bit of spotty ribbon, but I didn't cut it long enough. But never fear, I'll use it again for something else. Now these ribbons, you could use them for so many things at Christmas time. You could use them for tags, you could use them for gift wrapping, you could use them on your cards. So many different things. I added some journaling later on to those pocket page cards that I just slipped in the back there, as well as stapling a little bit of ribbon onto one of them to make it like a little pull tab. And I'll show you those at the end. Oh, I'm showing you now. So there's some journaling, and then I did a little quote on the back of that one. They just peek out. I just think that's really nice to swap it up a little bit instead of having every page look the exact same. So next, little project flip through. Not yet, you have to be patient. So this next one, I kind of wanted to document. Every year we go up to see Aaron's dad, who lives quite a few hours away, and all of his brothers and sisters. So we usually go on a road trip. Now, one year we did several Christmases. We did 4 different Christmases in one day, and it was a long, long day. So usually what we do is we either drive up on Boxing Day, or last year we actually went up a few days before Christmas, which was lovely as well. So I wanted to document the drive, because a lot of our Christmas is spent driving between families. When little Bubby Toomey comes along, I think some of those might change, because I don't know if I can do 4 Christmases in one day from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. at night. We'll see how we go. So I decided to use the pocket, the little treat bag from DIY Shop, this time as like a page. So I added some of the gold glitter washi tape on the side just to give it a bit of extra support, because I don't trust paper and people moving it. So I thought the washi tape will give it a little bit of extra support so that the holes won't be as likely to rip. So I added, you can see I added one of the stamps from that little set to the tag. And the great thing about those is that you get the stamp and the tags all in one little box. So all you need is some ink and you're good to go. Here I just wanted a bit of a cream behind that photo, and you can see a couple of the little stars poking out, which I thought was nice because it made that photo kind of pop off the background. Before it was kind of blending in because of the craft in the background. And I am adding a button of double-sided tape because, like I said before, there's no page protectors protecting the pages. Ironically, that's their job. So I do use a lot of tape, and I would suggest really considering how much glue you use if you do a mini album like this. So I layered that little Merry Christmas underneath, and I'm just grabbing some thickers from my stash by American Crafts just to spell out a title of road tripping. I think it's road tripping that I do. I was contemplating here, I felt like the gold glitter thickers, they weren't standing out enough because of the gold in the background. So I'm just going through and seeing if there's anything that I can stick them on. And I do and ah about this for quite a while. And I end up, using that ribbon that I stuffed up beforehand. Or do I? Yes, I do. I do, don't I? Yes. Yes, I do. As well as some of the washi from the Francheville collection too. So that makes my title stand out a little bit better. So hopefully this video will give you some ideas if you want to make a mini album, mini journal for yourself, to have a bit of fun with it and try to make each page a little bit different. So one of my favorite parts from the whole album is this little brown paper bag pocket. I just think it's nice to have a little something different. Every page is quite thick, it's quite big, and it's just nice to have something a bit more, a different texture, it's a bit more tactile in the album as well. Isn't that sky beautiful? Although it does take a few hours to get to the Toomey's house when we go road tripping, it is a beautiful drive, and it's just all farms and clouds, and it's just very pretty. So I added some journaling on just the back of that newspaper tag, as well as one of the little journaling cards, and some journaling here. And I'll give you a full flip, like I said, at the end so you can see it all together. Next up, we've got a little fish and chips Christmas. I don't think that was Christmas. I think that must have been Boxing Day. I think that was Boxing Day that we had fish and chips. Because remember, here in Australia, it's summer. So it's quite hot at Christmas time. I added some of those little daisies. They're called daisies. They're called mixed, I think it's mixed metallic daisies. By Ultimate Crafts, and I'm definitely going to be purchasing some more of those. I can see those landing on some layouts because they're textury, but they're not too chunky. They're not ridiculously huge. Over here we have 3 generations of Toomey boys. So there's Aaron and his dad and his grandpa, and then his two of his brothers as well. Added a doily to the bottom of that because I just felt like it needed something down the bottom, and that one's done. I didn't have to do a lot to this, and the great thing about that foil paper is it kind of demands your eyesight so much that you don't have to over embellish an album like this. Next up, we've got some photos documenting Christmas at my household with my parents and my nan. And I did do this one off camera because all I did was mat the photos, add a little bit of washi and some journaling. It was really quick and simple to do. These next photos are of my family and I, and my beautiful nan. I love my nana. She pulls the best faces. And I decided to cut them up in kind of a photo strip way. Now, I will let you know, I worked on this album for a long time with the journaling. I probably took about 5 hours to do this album, and so I have cut out bits because nobody wants to watch me work for 5 hours. So if you see little bits getting glued here and there that weren't there before, it's just because I'm just saving you a little bit of time. Here I just kind of wanted to do a filler page. No photo, no journaling, just a bit of a filler page, and I used that other poinsettia from the Ultimate Crafts Poinsettia Duo little pack that I had. And I think I just add one little sentence of journaling on a piece of white paper, and that's it. And then the other side, I do decide to cut them into a bit of a photo strip and do them on a bit of a jaunty angle. Every time I say jaunty angle, it makes me think of Kitty Scrapper, Nancy Sinclair over here on YouTube. I love the way she says jaunty angle. Every time you say it, Nancy, if you're watching this, makes me warm in my heart. It makes me so happy, especially with your English accent. It's just perfect. So I added some more of those thickers, and you can see I've used the same 2 fonts of thickers throughout the whole album just to add a little bit of consistency, because the photos are so different from different occasions and different Christmases. Next up, we have these 2 cheeky fluffy bums, and we may have bought them a Christmas hat from the $2 shop. They may not have liked it, but we may have gotten a sneaky photo before they tried to eat it. So I had to put them in. It's not a Christmas album without our little Christmas bunnies. And the funny thing is, when we do put up our Christmas tree, the one on the left is actually my parents' Christmas tree with their dog Nellie lying underneath it. But when we put up our Christmas tree inside, we have a plastic one, and we can't put the branches on the bottom 2 levels of the tree. So the tree, every branch is separate and it has to go in separately, which takes forever. And we can't actually put the bottom 2 in because the bunnies tried to eat them and pull them off the tree. And right now Poppet is over there looking at me like as innocent as anything. But I know, Poppet, I know what you're thinking and plotting. So Christmas tree decorating is an experience. If you do want to see, actually, I think on our vlog channel on Mr and Mrs Rad, we have a video from last year of a time lapse of putting up our Christmas tree, and the bunnies do try to help. So I'll put the link down below for the video for our Christmas tree decorating, if you want to head over to Mr and Mrs Rad and have a little looky at that video. And if you subscribe over there, a little selfless plug here, if you subscribe over there, you might get to see what we do this year for Christmas. So I'm adding a little bit of journaling down here and some scripty font. I do rather like to do a bit of scripty font, and I think this is the last page in the album. So this is the Christmas animals up. I called it party animals because they do like to rage and have a bit of a party. And now it's time for the full flip. Yay! So I did add on the tabs a little bit there, and you can see this album, unless you flick it like that, Adele, it does stand up by itself. So it would be really cute to put on a shelf and pull it out at Christmas time. I'll probably pack this away with all of my Christmas goodies and decorations and pull it out every Christmas, which would be nice to look at. So there's the front cover. We've got some journaling, and I really like the mixture of pages that are just white with a bit of Heidi shine in the background, as well as those pages that are all foiled, as well as the interactive bits. I just love interactive bits. I want to do more mini albums. I think you heard it here first. Hold me to it, guys. Hold me to it. I really need to do more mini albums. I just never think of doing them. Let me know in the comments below things that you've done mini albums for. So what's your favorite mini album that you've ever made, and why? What made it so good? I really like this one because of the size. I think it's a nice size to handle, and I really like the thickness of the board as well, and that there was no page protectors. So thanks for watching, guys, and thanks to the peeps at Spotlight for sending me all these goodies to have a play with. They're all available in Spotlight stores, but remember, every Spotlight's different, so you might want to check your local store and also check online to see what they have available. Thanks for watching, and I'll put the links down below, and I'll see you next time. Bye!